So what is your position and duties?
My title is Agriculture and Natural Resources Program Assistant and Resource Manager. And so I assist my boss, who is the County Agriculture Agent, Amanda Tetro, in the Athens-Clarke County Extension Office. And by assisting her, I'm really working to facilitate our programs, which include everything from the Master Gardener program, Master Naturalist, Master Composter, our free monthly gardening classes, the monthly e-newsletter, all of the volunteer opportunities, and client questions.
And what is the role of the UGA Extension Office overall in the state or on the local level?
Okay, so UGA Extension is, it was founded actually by a Georgia senator. So the Smith-Lever Act created Extension, which made a federal law that required all land-grant universities, of which the University of Georgia is one, to have these programs where the knowledge and research-based, unbiased information of the university is distributed to the population. So again, every land-grant university in the nation has them. Ours happens to be through the University of Georgia. And so almost all of the counties in Georgia, I think it's around 90%, have a county office. And so it's this bridge between the university and the public. So it's sort of like the face of the information to the public.
Okay. And what kind of programs does the Extension Office have, which gets school-age children or even college students involved in STEM or STEAM?
Okay. So there are three major parts of Extension, and this is across the board, every Extension office. Some may not have a full-time agent in each department, but they all three have these three elements, of which one is Agriculture and Natural Resources. That's the department I'm in. There's Family and Consumer Sciences, FACS, and that is the one that also sort of nestles above SNAP Ed. Then we have the third is 4-H. So 4-H is going to always have to do with kids because it's about youth development. And then the other two often have programming that involves kids. So Agriculture and Natural Resources, we do a program called Junior Master Gardener, and that allows experienced adult Master Gardeners to volunteer in schools teaching gardening programs, activities, workshops to kids. There's also the MG Sprouts program, which is for even younger kids, again for adult volunteer Master Gardeners to work within the school systems. It's basically a curriculum created by Extension. Then we've got a lot of volunteer opportunities that are going to have sort of reach into that community. So volunteer booths at fall festivals, we always work at the science and technology exhibits at Clark Middle. There's always going to be opportunities for the kids to learn about compost. We teach kids how to plant seeds at these volunteer booths. So there's a lot of hands-on experiences that we're basically facilitating and providing to expose them to more experiences like this. Another example would be the Harvest Festival that we did quite recently, where we were introducing kids to farm animals that they'd never seen in real life. And then Family and Consumer Sciences is going to work on things like canning and preserving. There's so much science involved in that, and within the classroom, Katie, our FACS agent, has done demonstrations at all 4 middle schools talking about the science behind preserving. And then, of course, 4-H is, again, all kinds of youth things, and they do everything that could be STEM-based from, they do quiz bowls that include all different variety of topics. They also, in fact, I wish, you'll have to talk to Elizabeth about this, they just actually started a STEM group.
Oh, okay.
I think they've had 2 meetings, brand new, and they've been working on robotics, and so that's 4-H is definitely one that's kind of pushing the envelope with the kid experiences. And consumer judging is one that does quite well. And the science, they do forestry, they do animal husbandry, they do lots of different topics there.
And what issues have you encountered in implementing these programs?
Okay, so our biggest issue with getting more programming in schools, I would say it's a dual issue. Number one is the relationship with the schools. They aren't opposed to our presence, but we don't necessarily have the funding to go ourselves, so we have to have the volunteers go on our behalf. And at which point, that because volunteers are not staff or faculty, it can create some boundaries to reaching that audience. So again, that this side of it is really like creating the bridge for the volunteers to get into the schools. That has been challenging, and it's tricky because everyone wants it, everyone's on board with it, but organizing a way to make it happen. From my experience over the past couple months, I just started in July and learning about what a program we have called Green Schools, and it's not an extension program. It is a amalgamage of multiple different programs. It's Keep Athens Clarke County Beautiful. It's the Athens Clarke County Arborist. It's Stormwater. It's the Botanical Garden. And its extension. And so we all banded together to find ways to create environmental sustainability programs in schools. And that's where we're encountering these problems with getting the volunteers in the schools. We can always get the teachers. It's harder to get with the students. And that can be bureaucratic, largely. Logistical, and some issues with, as you have experienced, the correct forms. But we're really moving through that, and it just really requires some perseverance. And I'm excited because I really care about it, so I feel like because of that, it's happening better, and that is awesome. I think Amanda partially was like wanted me because I would push it. And the other side of that is actually a lack of volunteer enthusiasm around it, which I did not understand until quite recently when I realized people weren't signing up. So some of the ways I've been brainstorming to move through that is to work towards understanding more what teachers want as far as it comes to activities. We've streamlined the process to become a volunteer in the schools. I'm actually going to have all the new class of Master Gardeners fill out that paperwork right away. And then the next step would be to have these 30-minute lessons that are ready to go. So to volunteer, all you'd have to do is sign up for a date and time rather than communicate with the teacher yourself. Pick up a kit and do that lesson. You can even do the same lesson multiple times, whatever you're comfortable with. So basically finding ways to make there be less onus on the volunteer and, so a little more prep work on my end so it becomes simpler to get them into the school.